You don't have a border, you don't have a country.
U.S. President Donald Trump declares a national emergency to pay for a wall at the southern border. Hello, I'm Anand, Naidoo, and this is The Heat. President Trump issued a national emergency on Friday to secure funding for a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. The executive action will free up $8 billion for the construction, including the more than $1.3 billion approved by the U.S. Congress on Thursday. We begin our coverage with CGTN's White House correspondent Jessica Stone. Jessica, what is the president's reason for declaring a national emergency, and what's been the reaction?
Well, he says he wants to build the wall, Anand, just to get it done faster. That's why he's using the national emergency. Remember, he wants to spend about $8 billion. Congress has only approved about $1.3 billion, and he says this will give him the ability to move faster with building the wall. It is incredibly rare, however, for presidents to take this type of step in order to circumvent Congress. Listen to him.
I'm going to be signing a national emergency. And it's been signed many times before. It's been signed by other presidents. From 1977 or so, it gave the presidents the power. We're talking about an invasion of our country with drugs, with human traffickers, with all types of criminals and gangs.
But Anand, Washington's own statistics contradict that argument. The Department of Homeland Security says that illegal border crossings have actually been on the steady decline over the past 2 decades. And asked where he was getting his numbers, the U.S. president told a reporter here at the White House, quote, "I have many stats." Anand?
Jessica, of course, there's opposition to the president's action, but what kind of efforts are you seeing there to stop this?
Well, there's essentially 2 paths. There's a congressional path and there's a court path. The congressional path is essentially a vote that Congress would take, a vote of disapproval, and it's not clear whether or not they have the votes that they need in order to express that, and that could lead to blocking the national emergency. But the more likely scenario is really the litigation that's being already planned for the courts. So this could come from Congress, interest groups, you name it. Lawsuits are the most likely, and Trump says he's prepared for those lawsuits. The opposition party Democrats, though, say that this is dangerous. Listen.
It leaves our troops vulnerable, and it does that by doing things like taking funds we've already allocated but not yet spent, but they haven't yet spent, from our intelligence centers, from our military readiness centers, from the schools on military bases across the world.
Most of the president's party is backing him, but there are those who have expressed concerns about this tactic, namely U.S. Senator Marco Rubio, who, of course, ran against Trump in the preliminary elections here. He says this, quote, "We have a crisis at our southern border, but no crisis justifies violating the Constitution." And Anand, you know, the fundamental irony here is that the president says he wants to use the national emergency to build the wall faster. Well, if it gets caught up in the courts as it's expected to, that will definitely not accomplish that goal. Back to you.
Thanks, Jessica. That's CGTN's Jessica Stone reporting from the White House.